If you're over 60, I need you to stop what you're doing for just a moment because something as simple as reheating yesterday's food could be quietly working against your body in ways you've never considered. I'm not talking about rare or unusual foods. I'm talking about the meals sitting in your fridge right now, the ones you've been warming up without a second thought for years. What if I told you that after a certain age, your body processes reheated food very differently, and in some cases, that difference can affect your brain, your heart, and even your digestion over time? Most people assume reheating is harmless. It feels convenient, efficient, even responsible. But there's a side to this habit that almost no one talks about, especially for adults over 50. Subtle chemical changes, invisible to the eye, can begin to form, and your body may not handle them as easily as it once did. Stay with me. Because one of the foods on this list, the one most people reheat daily, carries a risk that might genuinely surprise you, and avoiding it could make a meaningful difference in how you feel every single day. For over 3 decades, researchers and clinicians have been studying how food behaves inside the human body, not just when it's fresh, but after it's been stored, cooled, and reheated. And what becomes increasingly clear with age is that the body you have at 55 or 70 is not processing food the same way it did at 25. I want you to think about that for a second because it challenges something most of us have believed our entire lives, that reheating food is completely harmless. In reality, the moment certain foods are cooled and then reheated, subtle chemical reactions begin to take place. Proteins can denature in ways that make them harder to digest. Natural compounds can oxidize, creating byproducts that place stress on your cells. In some cases, especially with specific types of food, compounds can convert into forms that your body treats more like irritants than nourishment. When you're younger, your system is resilient enough to handle much of this without noticeable consequences. But after 50, that resilience begins to decline. Research in nutritional biochemistry has shown that aging bodies experience reduced enzyme activity, slower detoxification pathways, and increased sensitivity to oxidative stress. That means what once passed through your system unnoticed may now contribute to inflammation, digestive discomfort, or even subtle cognitive fatigue. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because once you understand what's happening beneath the surface, you start to see everyday habits like reheating food in a completely different light. A few years ago, a long-term nutritional study tracking adults over the age of 50 found something that caught even seasoned researchers off guard. Individuals who regularly consumed reheated, improperly stored foods showed significantly higher markers of systemic inflammation and oxidative stress compared to those who ate freshly prepared meals more consistently. These weren't extreme cases or unhealthy lifestyles. These were everyday people following what they believed were normal, harmless routines. Now, here's where it becomes personal. Chronic inflammation doesn't announce itself loudly. It builds quietly in the background, affecting how your brain processes information, how your heart functions under stress, and how your digestive system absorbs nutrients. Over time, that subtle strain can begin to show up as brain fog, slower recall, fatigue after meals, or even an increased risk of cardiovascular issues. Picture two different paths. On one side, someone who feels mentally sharp, energized, able to engage fully in conversations, to remember names, to move through the day with clarity. On the other, someone who begins to feel a gradual decline, not dramatic, but noticeable enough to feel like something has shifted. The difference between those paths is often not a single major decision, but a series of small daily habits repeated over years. And this is where it matters. Because if reheating certain foods is quietly contributing to that internal stress, then changing that one habit might not seem urgent today, but over time it can shape how your body feels and functions in ways you cannot ignore. Now, here's the part that most people don't expect. The food sitting at number 2 on this list is something you likely have in your kitchen right now, something you may be reheating almost every single day without thinking twice about it. And when you understand what actually happens to it after reheating, it changes the way you look at your routine completely. But before we get there, I want to ask you something simple. What is the one food you reheat the most during your week? Is it rice, leftovers from dinner, maybe vegetables, or something else entirely? Take a moment and think about it because your answer matters more than you might realize. Go ahead and leave it in the comments below. I genuinely read every single comment, and your responses help shape what I share next. You're not just watching this, you're part of a conversation, and what you say could help someone else realize something important about their own habits, too. So here's how we're going to approach this. We're going to count down 5 specific foods, starting from the ones that are commonly misunderstood, all the way to the one that carries the most unexpected risk when reheated after 50. And I want you to pay attention to the order, because each one builds on the last in terms of how Your body reacts and why it matters more as you get older. Some of these might seem familiar, maybe even harmless at first glance. That's exactly why they're on this list. The real issue isn't how these foods start, it's what they become after being stored and reheated in ways we've all been doing for years. Stay with me all the way through, because the number one food isn't just surprising, it's something most people trust completely, and once you understand it, you won't look at your leftovers the same way again. Let's start with number 5, and this one might seem almost too simple to be a concern, but it's something millions of people reheat every single day. Without a second thought, rice, cooked rice, left to cool and then reheated later, seems harmless on the surface. It's affordable, convenient, and often part of daily meals. But what happens after it's for a while is where things begin to change. When rice is cooked, it can carry spores of a bacterium that survives the initial heat. While the rice is hot, those spores stay inactive. But once it cools and sits at room temperature, even for a short period, those spores can begin to multiply and produce toxins. Reheating the rice doesn't always eliminate those toxins because, unlike bacteria, some toxins are heat resistant. Think of it like leaving a door slightly open overnight. At first, nothing seems different, but slowly, things you didn't invite in begin to enter, quietly and unnoticed. By the time you close the door again, the damage may already be done. That's how reheated rice can affect your system, especially as your body becomes more sensitive. With age, a safer approach is simple. If you cook rice, cool it quickly, store it in the refrigerator within an hour, and only reheat it once, making sure it's steaming hot all the way through. Better yet, prepare smaller portions when possible. It's not about avoiding rice, it's about respecting how it changes over time and giving your body the cleanest version of it you can. Now let's move to number 4, and this is where things start to feel a little more personal because it involves a food many people rely on for strength and nutrition. Chicken. It's often seen as one of the healthiest choices, high in protein, easy to prepare, and a staple in countless meals. But when it comes to reheating, especially after it's been stored for a while, the way it behaves inside your body can shift in ways that aren't always obvious. Protein is sensitive. When chicken is cooked, cooled, and then reheated, the structure of those proteins begins to change. They can become tougher to digest, and in some cases, if the storage hasn't been ideal, bacteria can develop that reheating may not fully neutralize. For someone younger, the body often compensates without much notice, but after 50, digestion slows, enzyme production declines, and the same meal can leave you feeling heavy, uncomfortable, or even slightly unwell. I remember speaking with someone who couldn't understand why they felt bloated and fatigued after what they thought was a perfectly healthy lunch. It turned out to be reheated chicken from the night before, stored just a little too long, reheated quickly, and eaten without a second thought. Once they adjusted that one habit, the difference in how they felt was immediate. It's not about avoiding chicken entirely, it's about being mindful. If you do reheat it, make sure it's stored properly, reheated thoroughly, and consumed within a safe window. Your body notices these details even if you don't at first. Now let's talk about number 3, and this is one that tends to surprise people because it's such a regular part of everyday meals. Potatoes, whether boiled, baked, or mashed, they're comforting, familiar, and often prepared in larger batches to be eaten later. But what happens when potatoes are cooled and reheated is something most people never think about. When potatoes sit after cooking, especially if they're not stored properly, they can begin to undergo subtle chemical shifts. One of the key changes involves the formation of resistant starch, which in small amounts can actually be beneficial. But when potatoes are reheated multiple times or stored for too long, other compounds can begin to develop that are harder for your digestive system to process, particularly as you age. Your gut after 50 is more sensitive to these changes. What once felt like a light, satisfying meal can now lead to bloating, sluggish digestion, or that heavy feeling that lingers longer than it should. It's not just about discomfort. Over time, repeated strain on your digestive system can contribute to inflammation and reduced nutrient absorption. A simple adjustment can make a real difference. If you're preparing potatoes, try to consume them fresh whenever possible. If you do store them, keep them properly refrigerated and avoid reheating them more than once. Gentle reheating at lower temperatures can also help preserve their structure without pushing them into that harder to digest state. Small changes like this protect your gut in ways that add up over time. Now we come to number 2, and this is where most people pause because it's not what they expect. Spinach, a food that has been associated with health for decades, something people intentionally add to their meals to feel better, not worse. And yet, when it's reheated, especially after being stored, it can undergo a transformation. that very few people are aware of. Spinach naturally contains nitrates. On their own, these compounds are not harmful and can even support certain bodily functions. But when spinach is cooked, cooled, and then reheated, those nitrates can convert into compounds that are far less friendly to your system. In particular, they can form nitrites and other reactive substances that place stress on your cells and interfere with oxygen transport in the blood when consumed repeatedly over time. What makes this more important after 50 is that your body's ability to neutralize and process these compounds isn't as efficient as it once was. The same meal that felt nourishing years ago can now quietly contribute to fatigue or subtle strain without you realizing the source. I once heard from someone who made a habit of preparing large batches of spinach for convenience. They would reheat it over the next couple of days, believing they were doing something consistently healthy. Over time, they noticed a strange pattern of low energy and mild discomfort after meals, something that didn't make sense given how clean their diet was. Once they stopped reheating it and began eating it fresh, that pattern disappeared. Almost nobody talks about this because spinach has such a strong reputation as a healthy food, and it is when handled properly. The key is to consume it fresh whenever possible and avoid reheating it after it has been stored. Sometimes the difference between helping your body and quietly stressing it comes down to details like this that most people overlook. And now we arrive at number one, the one most people never question, the one that quietly slips into daily routines without any hesitation. Cooking oils, especially vegetable oils used for frying or then reheated and reused. This is where the risk becomes far more serious than most people realize. When oils are exposed to high heat, they begin to break down. That process creates compounds known as oxidized lipids and aldehydes, substances that your body does not recognize as nourishment. When those same oils are cooled, stored, and then reheated again, the concentration of these compounds increases even further. Each cycle of heating and reheating pushes the oil farther away from its natural state and deeper into something your body has to work hard to process. After 50, this matters more than ever. Your body's ability to neutralize oxidative stress declines, and these damaged compounds can begin to contribute to inflammation at a cellular level. Over time, that inflammation is linked to heart strain, cognitive slowdown, and the kind of fatigue that feels difficult to explain but impossible to ignore. It's not immediate, and that's what makes it dangerous. It builds quietly, layer by layer, through habits that seem completely normal. Think about what that means in the long run. The ability to stay independent, to think clearly, to move through your day with energy. Those things are deeply connected to how your body handles stress internally. Reheating and reusing oils adds to that stress in a way that compounds over time. The alternative is simple but powerful. Use fresh oil when cooking, avoid reusing it after it has been heated, and store it properly away from light and air. Small adjustments like this protect your body in ways that go far beyond what you can see or feel today. I want to pause for a moment because this isn't really about food in the way most people think. It's not about rules, restrictions, or trying to live perfectly. It's about something much deeper. It's about the kind of future you're quietly building through the small decisions you make every day. After a certain age, health is no longer just about avoiding illness. It becomes about preserving the things that give your life meaning, your independence, your clarity of mind, your ability to wake up and feel like yourself, to hold a conversation without searching for words, to move through your day without that underlying fatigue that slowly takes things away from you. What we've talked about today may seem simple, even small, just reheating food differently, being more mindful about what goes back on your plate. But these are the kinds of shifts that accumulate. They either support your body or slowly work against it. And the truth is, your body is still incredibly responsive. It's still listening to what you give it. You are not stuck with the habits you've always had. You have far more control than you've been led to believe. And sometimes protecting your future doesn't require a major overhaul. It just requires awareness, consistency, and a willingness to adjust the little things that quietly shape how you feel, think, and live every single day. Now I'm really curious about you. Which of these foods surprised you the most? Was it something you've been reheating for years without thinking twice, or something sitting in your fridge right now? And more importantly, after hearing this, do you think you'll change anything about the way you handle your leftovers? Take a moment and share your answer in the comments below. I read every single one, and your experience might be the exact thing that helps someone else realize they're not alone in this. Sometimes awareness spreads one conversation at a time. If this gave you a new perspective, even a small one, consider liking the video and subscribing, not because it's expected, but because it helps this kind of information reach more people who genuinely need it. There are so many adults, especially parents and older family members, who are following the same habits without ever being Told what you just learned, and if someone came to your mind while watching this, send it to them. It could be a simple message that makes a real difference in how they take care of themselves moving forward.